can give, I can pray, and I can tell a story. A profound statement to express what we can do to spread the gospel of Jesus Christ. I learned this in a small compound named Isubilo that serves the impoverished children who have been orphaned, disposed of, or otherwise neglected. Well-traveled, jet-lagged, and a bit smelly, we all piled into 2 vans, suitcases, boxes, children, and adults, 15 Christians in total. Eyes were bright, smiles were big, and teeth were gleaming white, shining from the faces of the curious children as we drove through the gate of Isubilo. The laughter and shouts of joy that came from the dusty playground warmed my heart. This is why I had come here. The generous people who served the children of Isubilo greeted us with warm, happy smiles and strong handshakes. They are the living examples of selflessness. They have left their insecurities, concerns, pasts at the gate of Isubilo and have dedicated their lives to these children. They too have a story to tell, but they have chosen to help the children write a more promising story of their own. Weary pastors came from deep in the bush to listen to the teachings of this New Mexican pastor named Dale. Some traveled over 12 hours to hear his words that only God could inspire. Words encouraging the spiritual leader of Zambia to dig the ditches so the living water of Christ would flow. How this parched land needs these ditches, I thought. How do we rent a spiritual backhoe and start digging? How do we get the streams of living water to flow into this community so that the love of Jesus Christ can flow to these people? The pastor had just begun to speak, and I already wanted the entire irrigation system to be up and running. It was frustrating to try to take all of this teaching in, but then the words the pastor spoke resonated in my mind. The answer is simple. Lead with daring faith, dig the ditch, and just know that God will let the water flow. The hearts of the children were filled with anticipation this sunny Saturday morning. Over 250 children were fed spiritually, mentally, and physically. The high school class graduated from their 8-week-long Bible study course, and the pastors were taught how to create a fun, safe, God-filled environment for the children to grow up as young disciples of Christ. The squeals were loud and the place was bustling. The children waited in their seats for the lesson about Daniel in the lion's den to begin. Chris dressed up as Daniel, and in his own childish, fun-loving manner, taught the children about daring faith. The new graduates sang their beautiful servant leader and teacher a song they had composed just for her. From deep in their hearts, the words, "I can give, I can pray, and I can tell a story," resonated through the entire building over the voices of 250 children. It was a priceless, heartfelt thank you that they gifted to Heidi. It was very evident to me that the love Chris and Heidi have for the children of Isubilo had only come from God. God expressed his love through them because they had the daring faith to dig the ditch all the way to Ndola, Zambia, in Africa. As Pastor Dale, Chris, and Heidi were busy serving the children, there was one very loving, gentle, nurturing wife, mother, mother-in-law, grandmother, quietly ministering to her family. Even though she had spoken to the pastors about creating a God-filled, safe place for the children in their churches, what she really was there for was to show her love and support to her husband, children, and grandchildren. This mother's love was so needed in Ndola. The love only this beautiful woman could give, strengthened, energized, and gave hope to Pastor Dale, Chris, Heidi, and the grandchildren. She came to Ndola to lift and hold up her weary children and encourage them so that they could continue serving the children of Isubilo. Her words were nourishment for their spirits, and her touch was a confirmation that they were not alone. I think if we could see the prayers Sharon prayed for her family, we would be brought to our knees. The time at Isubilo was short, but the wisdom that soaked into my soul was immense. Even though Isubilo is a speck on the face of this beautiful planet, the people that serve, run, eat, squeal, and heal there are diamonds. They demonstrated to me that no matter what my circumstances are, I can give, I can pray, and I can tell a story.